I would probably paint a picture of Jurassic Park.
Wow, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's the OST for Jurassic Park.
Oh, the
right? Because
OST.
you think about it, the ad world is kind of like that. You know, one moment you feel like you're trying your very best to outrun a velociraptor, or hiding from a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Then the next moment you're like, surrounded by lush greenery and a fantastic, beautiful landscape that is just, you're just, oh.
The Adlympics, Sounds of Champions. Today, we have the MVP of Marketing in Team Lewis, Miss Ann Chong, Managing Director.
Hello.
And my name is Gung from Taylor's University's Advertising and Brand Management. So, Miss Chong, let's start here. If this was your opening ceremony, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, I've been with Team Lewis for 12 and a half years. Not a veteran, but also not new to the marketing industry. I've been doing this for 20 years already. And yeah, that's a quick background about myself in terms of my involvement with the team as well.
I see. So every champion has their own pre-game ritual, right? So what's something you do before a big moment in general,
I'll try to remain as zen as possible.
Ah.
I think that blanking out your mind and not doing too much before you actually act on something is always the best way to kind of keep calm, not engage with the nerves too much.
Yeah, of course. I think I can put it into practice right now. So for every race has its own hurdles, right? I'm sure you know. So what were some key challenges or turning points that really tested your endurance within this industry?
I think the biggest thing that a lot of people may or may not understand is that this is an industry that really requires you to embrace change. We're going through a very different time right now where you have to deal with AI, and then there's marketing tech, and it's just so much. Every day there's a new tool. Every 6 months you have to adopt something new. So I think that change is probably one of the most challenging aspects of the
As you said that this industry is very fast-paced, right? So what's your definition of a gold medal moment? That's something that you're really proud of within this competitive industry. And what will you tell your younger self before you really dived into this field of work?
Yeah, this one is going to be a little bit of a long story because it basically will take you through the journey of how Team Lewis has kind of built in Malaysia over the years. So when we first began, we were primarily looking at more public relations, social, client remit, so we did have creative, but today we do have a full-fledged team that not only supports work in Malaysia, but it's also a team that supports work overseas too. So we are effectively a global creative hub that is actually doing so much more than we began. And right now, I think that achieving that was one big gold medal with the support of the entire group. It was a big win for us. But we're embarking on the next step, next journey right now, which also includes us getting into more AI, developing our own AI tech solutions to be deployed throughout the industry. So yeah, I would count those as the big wins and the big wins. If you're talking about the younger self question, I think one of the biggest things which a lot of young people relate to is having to deal with a lot of information and processing a lot of thoughts at one go. I was not any different. I know back then maybe social media wasn't as prolific as it is today, but I think that if there was one thing that I could tell the end from 20 over years ago when she first started this race, I would probably say to her, don't overthink, concentrate on the present, because whatever you do today will definitely make tomorrow right. So focus on what's in front of you is probably the best way to work through that journey.
As we can see, you're a very zen, ambitious career woman, right? So in this Sound of Champions, we know that everyone has a different rhythm. So what would you describe your journey in a sound or like a lyric or a soundtrack?
If I were to think about it, I would probably paint a picture of Jurassic Park.
Wow. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's the OST for Jurassic Park.
Oh, the
right? Because
OST.
if you think about it, the ad world is kind of like that. You know, one moment you feel like you're trying your very best to outrun a velociraptor or hiding from a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Then the next moment you're like, you know, surrounded by lush greenery and a fantastic, beautiful landscape that is just, you're just oh. So I go through that motion as a soundtrack every single day, and it's not just because of the work that we do, right? It's also the people that we work with in the company. I take a lot of joy, especially in those beautiful ambient surroundings. I would like them to be, having to work with my teams every day because it's a joy to work with them. So yeah, so that's how I would actually soundtrack my career.
That's definitely unique.
Yeah.
Okay then, thank you so much for letting me interview today, and we could say goodbye to the audience. Bye bye.
Bye.